Now, if any element, that comes from any real life or test or scenario. So if you did some kind of study, you did some kind of survey, this is where you tell people about that. Right? You tell people about something that came from real life. And again, this is a great place for a case study. So if you did something and you've proven something, talk about the case study and their results. Again, you don't have to be long. You can be brief, but talk about the case study. Then once you have started talking about proof, they have to have this, then you can start talking about the features. Then you can start talking about the cool stuff on the inside. 25 videos, HD, 157 pages, everything that's really cool about your product. This is where you start to talk about that. Again, now we've already been to the point where we've given them facts that say you need to have something like this. Experts say it. Right now, what we're doing is, and again, be I'd say over the top here. When I say over the top, if you have 20 benefits, list every one of them. This is where you want to try to list everything that you possibly can that's a real benefit, that's a real feature of your product. What's really cool. Now, again, if you're going to do this, what you want to really try to focus on are USPs, unique selling propositions. Try to write in your features, those features that they can only get inside of your product. Right? Try to put those things in there that they can only get from you, that they're only going to be able to get inside of your product. When I use the word features here, I mean what the product has and what the product does. That is what I mean here. And when the features are spelled out, you want to highlight, just as we were talking about, the USP. Right? So if you're going to put something at the top, make sure it's a unique selling proposition, something that's unique to your product. Emphasize those things. Again, make sure you put down all the features, spell them all out, but give special emphasis to the USPs. And because this is ultimately what you want to stick in the customer's mind. In other words, we have all the features they have, but we have these two things that are unique that'll really make the difference to you. Right? Make sure you're listing your USPs here. And then, of course, probably throughout the product, right? All throughout the sales letter, every place where you can get it, you want to have some element of social proof, right? Some element. So again, make sure that element of social proof is going to be your testimonials. You and I have to get good at collecting them. You have to find a way, to the best of your ability, to be good, to be consistent, to be comprehensive about getting testimonials on every single thing you do. Every product you create, try to get testimonials. Try to get someone who will say something great about the stuff you're doing. And again, yes, social media social proof is just a name for testimonials. You've got to try to collect the testimonials from happy customers. Again, there's a product out called Review Trust that will help you to do that. There are a lot of other ones that are like that. You have to I think you've got to bake it into the cake. So in other words, people have to come to expect that you're going to ask for testimonials. Now, again, you don't have to do it in a way that's going to be tacky. You don't have to do it in a way that's going to be offensive, but you should be doing it all the time. It should be part of your everyday, it should be part of your all day, everyday routine. You're going to be asking about getting testimonials. You might be asked, okay, so what should I say? Right? What should I say? One thing that you want to say is that you want them to talk about what their life was like before they got your product and what their life is like now. Right? So a good before and after story is always the way, almost always an effective technology, effective testimonial. It's almost always one. And one thing that is not listed here, if you can, what you really want. Now again, you don't want to try to guide the customer to say anything, but you want to try to use those testimonials that really do take away the objections people have. So in other words, let's say that, the real objection for people to buying your product is they think it's too expensive. So again, you want to have those kind of testimonials in there so that people are talking about price. Anything that people talk about value and cost, you want to have those prominently, especially if you know people's reservation, people's, let's say their objection to buying your product is going to be whatever that is. You need to have testimonials mitigating them. You need to have testimonials moving against them. So in other words, everything those testimonials should say, they should be sprinkled throughout your page, and they need to take away the objections that people have about buying your product. And what social proof is going to be added? You want to add in a bit of urgency, right? Urgency, right? So in other words, this deal is not going to be here forever. You can add a countdown clock if you want to. You don't have to add a countdown clock, but you need to say something like, "This thing's going to end. You're getting a great deal. Either you're getting this really cool premium, or you're getting this bargain price, but you're only going to get it for a certain length of time. You're not going to get it forever. So don't wait to get this. You need to get it now because, again, even if all you're doing is offering a dime sale, right? Try to do something that communicates urgency. Listen, if you don't get this now, you're going to pay more for it. If you don't get this now, you're not going to make it before the March 1st deadline. Something in there in your offer, something in your sales presentation, something in your sales video, something on your sales page should communicate urgency. Again, I mean, in some cases, you're going to put a countdown clock on there. In some cases, it doesn't make sense to, but you need to make sure people understand that the deal is not forever. Right, the pricing is not forever. The premiums is not forever. Some aspect of this they're going to miss out on if they choose to let this deal go. You've got to communicate to them. See, remember something now. These people are already on the page. All we're trying to do is help them justify to themselves to make the purchase. We're trying to help them to justify to themselves to make the purchase. They're already if they're already down this far down their sales letter, they're pretty interested in getting it. Right? They're pretty interested. Now, what you've got to do is you got to help them. And one of the ways in which you help them is you let them know, hey, you're not going to be able to get this forever. And again, if they've got to go and they've got to justify that even to themselves or maybe even to somebody else. They've got to be able to say, hey, if I didn't get this, I would have paid 90% more. If I didn't get this, I would have missed out on this really cool part of this. And that's really the thing I really want about this really cool bonus. Whatever the case is, you've got to make sure that in some really tangible way that they're going to miss out on something if they choose to wait. Right? Something tangible. So it can't be a name only. And if you're not going to change the price, don't mention a price-based urgency. If you're not going to take a bonus out, don't make a bonus-based urgency. Again, make sure it's real, whatever you do. Make sure it is real. Right alongside of this, now if you can add this element to it also, I mean, you could do this inside of one of the platforms, I think Warrior Plus, you can add an element of scarcity. So in other words, not only is the deal going to not last, but you've got this other situation over here is that there are a limited number of people that are going to be able to do this. And again, hold to it. Right? Whatever you can hold to. Now, if you're really not going to limit the number of people that are going to buy this, then don't put yourself out there like that. So yeah, make sure you know, and you're gonna state openly to them that only a limited number of people are going to get it, but make sure that only a limited number of people really can get it. There should be some reduction in risk, right, in the process of the product pitch. So in other words, we're going to take the risk away, right? So all the risk is not going to be on them. We have to state it openly. We're going to take the risk. So you've got to reduce their risk. Again, think about this again. They're thinking in the back of their minds, okay, man, well, what happens if I really don't like this? What happens if I really don't want to do this? So what you're trying to do is you're trying to take them all the way through the process, and you're trying to guide them to help them to justify it. And one of the things you can do to use to help them to justify it is, well, hey, you know what? We've got a guarantee in place. Whatever that guarantee is, that their satisfaction is paramount to you. So even if that satisfaction package is going to include some kind of replacement or a money back guarantee or something, then you got to state that, right? So again, you've got to reduce their risk. Right, they're risking something. They don't want to feel like they got scammed. So they're risking this, and so you've got to help them to be able to undertake this. Now, the last thing, of course, you're going to have a call to action, right? You're going to have a call to action. Now, what's a call to action mean? Well, the call to action is basically going to be where you tell them what to do now that they know everything that you've taught them, right? So it should be direct, right? Go here. Click here to get this. Make sure that there's no ambiguity in what you're saying. right? Don't try to be cute with this part of it. Call to action is go here now. Go here before the time runs out. Go here before midnight tonight. Click this link to get our product. Again, very clear, very specific, very direct. Don't have to play with this, because if you've done the rest of your sales letter right, you've done the rest of your selling right, then this is not going to be an issue or a sticking point to you. You don't have to get fancy with this, right? Because if you one of the reasons why you go through the entire process we've laid out for you is that so that you don't have to get cute with anything. You're going, oh yeah, you got to put it in your own style, but you're going to have a call to action that's going to be clear. It's going to be direct. This should tell your prospect exactly what they need to do, right? Exactly, right? No, there should be no question about what it takes to go and purchase your product. Again, you're helping them. They already want to, they're reading all the way down your sales letter. They're still with you all the way down to the bottom. They want to get it. They want to buy it. They want to experience it. You are there to help them. And so if you're going to help them, you have to be direct and clear, and you have to tell them what to do. Don't give them too much information. Don't make them burn too many mental calories to try to figure out what it is they got to do to go buy the thing. Again, it ought to be affirmative and directive. And even if you're not as comfortable with that, right? None of us necessarily are going to be comfortable with being directive. However, this is a point at which you must do it. This is a point at which you must be, even if that is not your personality. You sort of have to tell people what to do, right? You might think, well, man, I don't want to tell anybody what to do. Well, this is where you do. This is where you do have permission to tell somebody what to do. Right? You have permission to tell somebody what to do, and you have to do it in this case. Now, all these elements should be present in a one-to-one message, right? So it's all a one-to-one message. It's all basically, when I say one-to-one, it is personal, right? So you're writing in this very personal tone, very direct. Basically, you're talking to somebody who is sitting in your living room, but you are formally and directly talking to them about why they need to take the next step, why they need to take some kind of action on what you have been talking about. Again, it is personal. It's one-to-one, but it is definitely something where you're telling them what it is they've got to do next. Now, what kind of things can you do